Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Easy English. I'm Henry, and today we're going to talk about something super common, daily routines.
Hi friends, I'm Luna. You know, this topic sounds simple, but it's actually one of the best ways to start a friendly chat.
Exactly. When someone asks, "So, what's your day like?" You don't want to freeze, right? You just want to answer naturally.
Right, and daily routines are something everyone can relate to. Whether you're new to Canada or the US, talking about your day helps you make small talk with coworkers or neighbors.
Yeah, and we'll show you step by step, from waking up to going to bed, how to describe your day in real, everyday English.
Plus, we'll do some shadowing together so you can repeat after us and get used to the natural rhythm.
Exactly. So, grab your coffee, relax, and let's start talking about your mornings.
Yup, mornings are where everything begins. Let's jump right in.
All right, so let's talk about mornings. You know, that moment when your alarm goes off and you just want 5 more minutes?
Yes, I know that feeling. But mornings are a big part of small talk here. People often say things like, "I'm not a morning person," or "I need coffee first."
Exactly. You can start by saying something like, "I usually wake up at 7," or "I get up early for work."
And if you want to sound natural, you can add a short reason. For example, "I wake up at 6 because I take the bus to work."
That's good. You can also talk about what you do after waking up. Say, "I brush my teeth and make coffee."
Or, "I check my phone before I get out of bed." Yeah, many people do that too.
Right, but maybe don't admit that to your boss. Anyway, let's practice one together. Repeat after us. "I usually wake up at 7."
Nice! You can also say, "I make breakfast," or "I grab a quick snack."
And if you're in a hurry, say, "I skip breakfast when I'm late."
Oh, that's me most days. But if you want to sound healthy, you can say, "I eat oatmeal in the morning."
Good one. And if you want to ask someone else, say, "What time do you usually wake up?"
That's a really friendly question. It's simple and easy to answer.
Yeah, and it helps you start conversations naturally.
All right. After mornings come the busy part, work or school. Let's talk about that next.
You're right. Mornings always lead straight into the busy part. For me, that's when emails start coming in and everything speeds up.
Yeah, for most people, that's the longest part of the day. When someone asks, "What do?" you can talk about your daily routine at work or school.
Exactly. You can say, "I start work at 9," or "I have classes from 10 to 3."
And if you want to sound friendly, you can add a detail like, "I grab a coffee before work," or "I walk to school with my friend."
That's right. And people here love to talk about commutes. You can say, "It takes me 30 minutes to get to work," or "I take the subway every morning."
Yup. And if you work from home, just say, "I work remotely," or "I work from home most days."
Let's try one together. Repeat after us. "I start work at 9."
Nice! You can also use phrases like, "I have a meeting every morning," or "I check my emails first thing."
And if you're studying, say, "I attend lectures," or "I study in the library."
You can make it more natural by adding time expressions like "in the morning" or "after lunch."
Exactly. For example, "I study in the library after lunch."
Perfect! You sound just like a native speaker now.
Haha, not bad, right? Okay, After work or school, it's finally time for lunch and maybe a short break.
Yes! Let's talk about how to describe lunchtime and afternoon routines next.
Okay, lunchtime, finally, the best part of the day. You know, after a busy morning, that first bite of food just feels amazing.
Oh, yeah, especially if you've been staring at a computer all morning. In North America, a lot of people just grab something quick, like a sandwich or a salad.
Right, and some people bring lunch from home. You can say, I usually bring my lunch, or I eat at the cafeteria.
If you go out, you can say, I have lunch with my coworkers, or I eat at a nearby cafe.
Let's practice one together. Repeat after us. I usually bring my lunch.
Nice! And you can also add a bit of personality. For example, I love trying new lunch spots, or I eat the same thing every day.
Yeah, that's so real. Some people are super routine, others love variety.
After lunch, people usually say, I go back to work, or I have afternoon classes.
Or you can add more details, like I have a meeting at 2, or I study until 4.
Let's do another quick one. Repeat after us, I go back to work after lunch.
Perfect. It's also common to mention how you feel in the afternoon. You can say, I feel sleepy after lunch, or I need coffee to stay awake.
That's totally me. Coffee saves the afternoon.
Exactly. And once the afternoon is over, it's time to wind down and relax.
Yeah, the evening routine is where you finally get to rest. Let's talk about that next.
Ah, finally, the evening. You know, that moment when you can just breathe after a long day.
Yeah, it's the best time to unwind. In North America, people usually start dinner around 6 or 7, depending on their schedule.
Right. And you can say, I cook dinner with my family, or I order takeout when I'm tired.
If you live alone, you might say, I make something simple, or I eat while watching TV.
Let's practice one. Repeat after us. I cook dinner with my family.
Nice! And after dinner, people often relax. You can say, I watch a show, I play games, or I take a walk.
Yeah, or I talk with my family, or I read before bed. Simple, but very natural.
If you want to sound more fluent, add time words like in the evening or before going to sleep.
Exactly. For example, I read before going to sleep.
Perfect! That sounds calm and natural.
Evenings are also a good time to say how you feel. You can say, I feel tired after work, or I feel relaxed after dinner.
Yeah, people love to share how their day went. It's an easy way to connect.
Totally. And once you've rested, the next day's routine starts all over again.
The circle of life, right? But before that, weekends. Let's talk about those next.
Finally, the weekend. You know, those 2 days everyone waits for all week. It's when you can sleep in, relax, and do what you love.
Oh yeah, weekends are such a big deal here. In North America, people often ask, do you have any weekend plans? It's a super common question.
Right. You can answer, I'm staying home this weekend, or I'm going out with friends.
If you want to sound natural, add a bit more detail. For example, I'm meeting friends for brunch, or I'm going hiking on Saturday.
Let's practice one together. Repeat after us. I'm going hiking on Saturday.
Nice! You can also talk about relaxing weekends, like I'm just watching movies or I'm catching up on sleep.
Exactly. Some people like to say, I'm doing nothing this weekend. and that's totally fine too.
Yeah, sometimes doing nothing is the best plan.
You can also ask others, what did you do last weekend? Or how was your weekend?
Those are perfect small talk questions. Everyone loves sharing a good weekend story.
For example, I visited my cousin, or I went to a farmer's market.
Great examples. And if you're new here, weekends are a great time to explore your city and meet people.
Exactly. Next, we'll talk about how to describe changes in your daily routine, like when your schedule gets busy or different.
Perfect. Let's dive into that next.
All right. So we've talked a lot about our own routines, but what about asking other people about theirs? That's a great way to start conversations.
Yeah, totally. People love talking about their daily lives, and asking simple questions can help you connect right away.
For example, you can say, what time do you usually get up? Or how do you get to work?
Or you can ask, do you like your morning routine? Or what do you usually do after work?
Let's practice one together. Repeat after us. What time do you usually get up?
Nice! You can also ask about habits. For example, do you exercise in the morning? Or do you cook every day?
Yeah, and when people answer, you can react naturally. Say things like, oh, really? Or that sounds nice.
Exactly. Even small reactions like cool or same here help keep the conversation going.
Let's do another one. Repeat after us. Do you cook every day?
Great! You can also share your own habits in return. That makes it feel more like a friendly chat, not an interview.
For example, if someone says, I go jogging every morning, you can reply, oh, I wish I could do that.
Haha, that's me. I always plan to exercise, but never do.
Same here. Anyway, asking about routines is a great way to practice English and learn about people's lives.
Yeah, and it helps you sound friendly and confident in any conversation.
Next, let's see how to talk about changes in your routine, like when something unexpected happens. All right, sometimes our daily routines don't stay the same. You know, life happens. Plans change, work gets busy, or something unexpected comes up.
Yeah, totally. In those cases, it's useful to know how to talk about those changes. For example, I've been working late this week, or my schedule changed recently.
Exactly. You can also say, I usually cook at home, but lately I've been eating out. Or, I used to take the bus, but now I drive.
Let's practice one together. Repeat after us. I've been working late this week.
Nice! You can also talk about changes in habits, like I started going to the gym, or I stopped drinking coffee.
Right. And if something new is happening, you can say, I'm trying something different, or I'm learning to manage my time better.
That's a good one. You can also ask others, has your routine changed lately? Or are you doing anything new these days?
Let's do one more. Repeat after us. Has your routine changed lately?
Perfect. These are great ways to keep a conversation interesting and show curiosity.
Yeah, it helps you sound natural and engaged, just like native speakers do.
Next, let's move on to some useful small talk phrases that you can use anytime you're chatting about routines.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Okay, so now let's look at some useful small talk phrases. These are super handy when you're chatting about routines or just trying to keep a friendly conversation going.
Yeah, small talk can make a big difference. It's what helps you connect with people at work, in class, or even at the coffee shop.
You can start simple, like, how's your day going? Or, busy day today?
These work in almost any situation.
Exactly. And if you want to sound a bit more natural, try, "How's your morning so far?" or "Did you sleep well?"
Let's practice one. Repeat after us. How's your day going?
Nice! And don't forget, showing interest is key. You can say, "Sounds like you've had a long day," or "That must be tiring."
Yeah, and to share your own side, say, I've had a busy week, or I'm finally catching up on rest.
Let's do another one. Repeat after us. "I've had a busy week."
Perfect. You can also wrap up small talk politely by saying, it was nice talking to you, or hope you have a great day.
Those are super natural and friendly. You'll hear them everywhere in North America.
And remember, small talk doesn't need to be deep. It's just a way to keep connections warm and positive.
Exactly. Next, let's wrap things up with a quick summary and practice challenge.
Perfect.
Wow, we've covered so much today, from talking about mornings, work, and evenings to weekends and even small talk. You've learned a full set of phrases for daily life.
Yeah, seriously. These are real expressions people use every day in North America.
Exactly. And remember, don't try to memorize everything at once. Just pick a few phrases and use them in real conversations.
Right. You can start small, like when someone says, how's your day going? Reply with, pretty good, just busy as usual.
That's a great one. Or when someone asks, "What time do you usually wake up?" you can answer naturally and keep the chat going.
Yep, practice makes it easier each time. And shadowing, repeating after us, is a great way to build your rhythm and confidence.
So let's do one last quick challenge. Repeat after us. "I'm trying to speak English every day."
Nice job. One more. Repeat after us. I'm improving a little every day.
Perfect! Keep using English in small, daily moments, and it'll soon feel natural.
Exactly. Even talking about your day is great practice. It helps you think in English.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us.
You can also download today's key phrases from the link in the description.
Thanks for learning with us today. Keep practicing, stay positive, and speak easy.
See you next time.